Hi, I'm Daz. I found this lingering at a amateur radio car boot sale. It's a Kenwood X-SE7. I think it comes from a system. I don't have the system, only the cassette recorder here that you can see. Let's zoom in a bit more, that's better. I'm not sure, I've got a manual. Not quite sure how you set the recording level manual, but I believe this sets it automatically somehow. I'm not sure how at this time, but it's an auto reverse device. Some phonos at the back and a control system cable, which no doubt went with the system it belonged to. I only paid a few pounds for it. It does look a bit bashed up, but we'll have a look inside. And by the way, that's one of the feet are missing, aren't they? Yeah, that's not so good, but anyway, we'll have a look inside and see how worn or damaged it is. Okay, so here's the deck with the lid off. 2 circuit boards down the side. I can see 2 motors. This is probably for the deck itself, I guess. And the case is coming unclipped. Whoops. And there's a motor here for the drawer, I presume. The typical, zoom in, typical 2-head with a raised head, rotating head mechanism, pair of pinch wheels, 2 capstans, the usual thing you'd expect really from an auto reverse cassette deck. Just zooming out again, a conventional linear transformer and an awful lot of dust. Just notice it's got a set of switches here. I'm just trying to use the torch to illuminate this and not doing a very good job, but yeah, there's a set of switches down here, and there we go, that's better. But the switches only appear to represent the record tab or chromium dioxide tape, so presumably this wasn't designed for metal. Just zooming back out. I'm now going to have a go at the capstans and pinch wheels and heads and give them a bit of a clean. Well, okay, I've had a quick clean. Let's see how it works. So, cassette goes in like that. Press the close button. Oh, I see. The tray drops it down. That's how it works. I see. Let's do that again. It drops it onto the mechanism. Right, there's 2 play buttons. Let's see what happens. Ooh. And it plays. Well, that's good news. Let's try the other direction. Can't see any sign of tape. There we go. Can't see any tape riding, so that's good. Good stuff. So, do I take it apart further? Yeah, of course I do. Well, there we go. So the deck is in bits now. That caught me out here. It's a little earth tag I had to take a screw out. Just had to cut a tie wrap and pull these connectors out to get access to the deck. So now we can look at the deck. There's a zoom in. Be a bit easier. Right, what we got was a Hall effect device here and a magnet. There's a pair of flywheels. Now this one has got a piece of metal in it, so you know that adds to the weight, I guess. There's another secondary belt here. This one's flat. It is fairly loose, so there's going to be a belt down here which is out of shot. Unfortunately, that's for the door loading. So yeah, the usual set of plastic gears and what have you. Quite fascinated by the fact that only just rubs on there for that direction. But there we go. 1997 I believe this deck was made, so the end of the cassette era, I guess. Well, as usual, I don't have the right belt. It's 4mm wide. I've just tried a 77 by 4.1 and that's too loose, so I'm guesstimating I need about a 72. Just a quick hand look at the deck. This belt is loose as well. It's the one that opens the drawer. This drive belt, as you can see, there's just no grip on it. And there is another belt here which is to do with the fast forward, rewind and take up, and that one feels a little loose as well. You can see the gears that mesh for fast forward and rewind. If we come back here, you can see that big white gear there, that meshes on the what's on your left, the flywheel on your left, and that does the servo, pushes the head in, reverses it, etc. And that's got some gears on each side. So a slipping belt would definitely cause the logic control to malfunction. I'm interested in the fact there's only one Hall device on here, because I'm sort of wondering if that means that in one direction you've got no take-up spool protection. If it stalls, it means there's the only one Hall effect device on there. You can see it's got 3 legs, and there's a magnet underneath, so as the magnet's revolving it'll activate it. But if it stops, the signal will stop and it'll know that spool has stopped rotating. So that's what a Hall effect device is in basic terms. Well, that's certainly a little better now. It's a new belt in operation, so hopefully we won't get so much slip now. Just thought we'd have a little look at how the mechanism works. This is the first clutch, which is driven by a belt from this flywheel. And there's a little idler gear that's connected to it here. These gears here and here, which you'll see, fast forward and rewind. And then we've got another clutch here, which is used for the take up on playback. And this are the spools of the cassette. So if I go fast forward, you can see the gear connected to the spool there. I reverse the direction, and then you can see the spool being turned by those gears. If I try the 2 play directions and try and shoot this way a bit, now you can see the clutch just shoot up there for the take up, and if I reverse the direction you'll see the clutch shoot in the other direction. Changing direction again. Meantime, you can see the cam moving. Quite ingenious. It reminds me of automatic record players, of course from the 70s, and its complexity. I can see why people say they don't like working on these. They are quite complicated. The only problem I've noticed I've got at the moment is I've got a bit of problems with this clutch here, because I'm struggling to fast forward and rewind the tape towards the end. Now either this clutch is out of adjustment or it is just a stiff tape. I'm not sure at this moment. You can see me now struggling to fast wind, and as you can see the clutch is, well, it's just stopping it. So that's a bit of a pain. I'm not really sure if I can fix that problem. As you can see, I've got the spool off at the moment. I'm just checking the grease, because I confess it feels a little bit stiffer than this one, and I'm just wondering if that could be the cause of my rewind problem. That there's a little bit too much friction there. It's a bit of a long shot, but worth a try. Yeah, now it looks pretty scary. I've decided to have the board out because I've been having trouble with this mode switch, so I'm going to put some contact cleaner in it. I've also managed to pull the wire off the solenoid, which I've now fixed, So yeah, the hazards of playing with logic control decks. Well, I'm going to try recording on the Kenwood. Got my phone plugged into it, so if I press CRLS, it seems to go into pause mode and this LED is flashing, so I don't know if that's setting the recording levels, but anyway, pop pickers, I'm going to record Neon Storm YouTube track and just see. There we go, just press the record button. The audio is coming through the line output, so we'll just try test recording and see how it goes. But I wonder if you can press the CRLS while it's recording. No, it looks like something you do before you start, so that's kind of interesting. I have got a manual, maybe I should have read it first, but right, I've turned my phone up to maximum volume this time because, yeah, according to the manual that should stay on for about 20 seconds, and it is this time. When I checked the recording level last time, it was only -20, then -7, so obviously that wasn't enough, but yeah, the light is now lit, so that was obviously the problem, not up loud enough, so I'll give it a go, recording. Okay, let's try playback, see if it sounds a bit louder. Then I shall go and stick it in my cassette deck. I am really struggling with this auto reverse. Actually, that sounds modulated a bit more like what it should do. Good, I'll go and have a look what it looks like on the cassette deck. I took the recording and put it in my cassette deck, and it said it was around 0 dB, so obviously you need a certain level for the manual with the automatic set recording level to work, and I guess if you were recording something that was quiet at the beginning, you'd want to play the most loudest part of the music before setting the recording level. But I'm going to do some test tones now, because the manual claims that this has got quite a good frequency response with ordinary tape, so I'm just intrigued to find out. Okay, so I gave it a test. You can see the oscilloscope probe probably poking up there. Anyway, yeah, it's got a good response at 10 kHz. At 15 it's definitely dropping off, but it's just a normal standard type 1 tape. So, but anyway, yeah, I think that's enough tests for me. It works, it records. I understand how the recording level works now, and you need enough input for it to activate correctly. So yeah, interesting cassette deck with the drawer. So I think I'm going to move on to something else now. I'm a bit bored with this one. Anyway, thanks for watching.